Hello, this is the WJTS News. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Bill Potter reporting. Hope you're staying warm. Now that the winter weather has hit, this may be a good time to prepare for the next storm or outage. Here are some tips to safely prepare for winter weather and other outages that may impact you in the future. Ensure an adequate supply of flashlights, batteries, bottled water, non-perishable foods, medicines, etc., as well as the availability of a portable battery-operated radio or weather radio. You should make alternate shelter arrangements if needed if they will be significantly impacted by a loss of power, especially families who have special medical needs or elderly members. If a power line falls across a car that you're in, stay in the car. If you must get out of the car due to a fire or other immediate life-threatening situation, do your best to jump clear of the car and land on both feet. Be sure that no part of your body is touching the car when your feet touch the ground. Ice and snow can cause hazardous driving conditions, resulting in traffic accidents and downed utility poles and power lines that, in turn, can cause isolated power outages. If you're driving and encounter emergency responders or other roadside work crews, remember to move over. If you use a generator due to a power outage, follow the manufacturer's instructions to ensure safe and proper operation. Operate your generator outside, never operate it inside a building or garage. Don't use grills or other outdoor appliances or equipment indoors for space heating or cooking, as these devices may emit carbon monoxide. Stay away from power lines that have fallen or are sagging. Consider all lines energized, as well as trees or limbs in contact with the lines. Please report down power lines to your local emergency services. Be prepared for an emergency by purchasing an emergency preparedness kit from the Red Cross. More tips on what to do before, during, and after a tip can be found at dukeenergy.com. A checklist serves as a helpful guide, but it's critical before, during, and after a storm to follow the instructions and warnings of emergency management officials in your area. A bill authored by State Senator Mark Mesmer that would protect Indiana farmland passed out of the Senate by a vote of 47-2 on Tuesday. Senate Bill 388 would stop foreign entities from purchasing land in Indiana for agricultural use. If passed, Senate Bill 388 would go into effect July 1st of 2022, and starting July 30th of 2022, a foreign entity would not be able to transfer Indiana farmland to another foreign entity. Any use or sale of the land would need to be reported to the Indiana Secretary of State. SB 388 will now move to the House of Representatives for further consideration in Indiana. The Indiana Criminal Justice Institute announced the results of the enhanced enforcement effort that took place during the holidays to reduce crashes and traffic fatalities. The Safe Family Travel campaign ran from Thanksgiving to New Year's and brought about increased high visibility patrols and sobriety checkpoints throughout the state of Indiana. In total, police officers conducted 582 overtime patrols and worked an extra 2,441 hours. Preliminary reports indicate that officers made 7,283 traffic stops, which resulted in 3,277 citations, 3,709 warnings, and 297 arrests. Of those, 79 were for driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol. On average, more than 10,000 people die in drunk driving crashes every year in the U.S. That's approximately one person every 52 minutes. Tragically, the holidays are a particular dangerous time as drunk driving-related fatalities tend to increase. That's why Indiana mobilized hundreds of state and local law enforcement agencies for the Safe Family Travel campaign, which is funded by the NHTSA or NHTSA with grants from the Criminal Justice Institute. While officers were on high alert for signs of impairment, motorists were cited for other forms of reckless driving, speeding especially. Nearly one-third of the citations and warnings issued during the campaign were for excessive speeds. Although the enhanced enforcement campaign is over, officers are always on the lookout for reckless driving. To stay safe, state and local officials encourage motorists to never drive impaired. Always wear a seatbelt, follow posted speed limits, watch for pedestrians, and avoid distractions behind the wheel. Before consuming alcohol, plan for a sober ride home, such as a designated driver or using a ride service or public transportation. Motorists are encouraged to call 911 if they encounter an impaired or unsafe driver on the road. The Indiana Family and Social Services Administration announced that it is accepting applications for a second round of Build, Learn, Grow Stabilization grants intended to support child care, early care and education, and out-of-school time programs that have faced increased costs and challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. Funds awarded in this round will cover 5 months of providers' operating expenses, allowing them to stabilize their operations and invest in their businesses to build capacity for the future. During the first round of stabilization grants, 2,777 providers across the state were awarded a total of $152 million. Providers have used their grant funds to increase wages for early childhood staff, create staff appreciation events, and award bonuses, pay off facility mortgages, hire additional staff, and offer professional development opportunities. Stabilization grants are part of multiple state-organized initiatives made possible through federal COVID-19 assistance to support programs, children, and families. A full, detailed impact report on the $250 million deployed by Indiana's Build, Learn, Grow Child Care Relief and Recovery effort is available at brighterfuturesindiana.org. Build, Learn, Grow Stabilization grants are non-competitive and awarded on a rolling basis, but providers are encouraged to apply quickly to gain immediate access to funding. Providers can use grant funds to cover expenses across 6 categories: personnel costs related to hiring, compensating, training, and retaining staff; employee recruitment and retention to attract and retain staff; facility fees, maintenance, and improvements required to pay for, maintain, or improve their facilities; COVID-19 safety-related needs to keep staff and children safe; goods and services necessary to resume and strengthen operations; mental health supports such as counseling for children and employees; health and safety training. Now, grant amounts are calculated per child care site based on each provider's program type, average attendance, staffing costs, quality level, and geography. Grant awards for this round will total approximately 5 months of a provider's operating cost. A provider's total amount of grant funding received through the Build, Learn, Grow Stabilization Grant is capped at $850,000 per site for the duration of the program. Providers who received funding during the first round must complete an expenditure report before applying for a grant in round 2. More than 3,600 child care providers across Indiana, serving more than 100,000 Hoosier children from birth to age 12, are eligible to apply. Programs including licensed centers, child care homes, unlicensed registered ministries, and legally licensed exempt providers must have been licensed or registered to operate in the state of Indiana on March 11, 2021. If not active in the CCDF program or licensed or registered by January 14, 2021. If active in the CCDF program, programs must also be open and currently serving children and be in good standing. Providers can learn more about Build, Learn, Grow Stabilization grants and apply at stabilization.buildlearngrow.org. The site contains an introductory webinar, application walkthrough, and frequently asked questions. All applications must be received no later than April 15, 2022, though providers are encouraged to apply immediately. Hey, get your cameras out and head to your favorite historic destination. The annual Historic Preservation Month photo contest, sponsored by the DNR Division of Historic Preservation and Archaeology, is underway. The subject of entry photos must be in Indiana, be at least 50 years old, and be something that was designed, built by people. It can be a building that's been restored to perfection or one that needs some love. The idea is to show the value of historic preservation. Photos of exclusively natural elements are not eligible. The complete rules and guidelines and the required entry form are available at on.in.gov/preservation-month. The photos should be JPEG files, less than 10 meg. Each photo and the required entry form should be mailed to ABORLAND, Arborland at dnr.in.gov as attachments. Photographers can submit up to 3 photos, but can submit only 1 photo and entry form per respective email. Follow the DNR Instagram account at Indiana DNR, May 1st through the 7th, when the DHPA will be doing a takeover for a week and featuring selected photos and contest winners. The contest deadline is Friday, April 1st. Do you know that 1 in 7 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime. Prostate cancer can be a serious disease, but screenings can help in early diagnosis. Memorial Hospital and Healthcare Center is offering a prostate cancer screening for men age 50 and over, or for those with a high risk for prostate cancer. The screening will take place at Mary Potter Meeting Room inside Memorial Hospital lobby, Jasper, on Monday, February 7th, 2022 from 6 to 9:30. Results will be mailed to participants. No appointment or pre-registration is necessary. The cost of the PSA screening is $21. Optional tests include a lipid profile for $15 and a take-home colon cancer detection kit for $9. A 12-hour fast is required for the lipid profile prior to the screening. Payment is required at the time of the screening. No Medicare, Medicaid, or insurances are applicable. For more information, call the Memorial Hospital and Health and Wellness Department at 812-996-2399, 996-2399, option number 1. The Department of Education for Indiana launched a statewide COVID-19 relief school spending dashboard. The dashboard reflects COVID-19 federal relief grant fund reimbursements as part of schools' locally developed spending plans, which are focused on improving student learning. The dashboard reflects school grant allocations and reimbursements from the 3 rounds of federal elementary and secondary school emergency relief funding, as well as competitive grants that were awarded to schools from federal governor's emergency education relief funding. ESSER funding is proportionately allocated to local school districts based on the federal Title I formula. Reimbursements are made to local districts once they spend the funds on approved expenses as part of their locally developed plans. Across Indiana, $2.8 billion in federal funding has been allocated to local school districts. Currently, more than $550 million in expenditures have been reimbursed, with school districts continuing to submit for reimbursements on allowable expenses per federal law. School corporations have through September of 2022 this year to encumber the first round of ESSER funding, and through September 2023 and September 2024 respectively to encumber the second and third rounds of their grants. To date, these funds have commonly been used to strategically accelerate student learning, support educators, promote sustainable innovation, and update technology and other infrastructure. School corporations have placed a focus on using the funds to help support student learning impacted by COVID-19 related learning disruptions. More information is available online. Now stay tuned. WJTS News will continue in a moment with a look at weather, and Kurt Guxell steps in with a look at sports.